You know what's cool? Robots. Robots are cool. And you know what else is cool? Good architecture. So naturally, transforming dynamic buildings would be double cool. But unfortunately, those are very few and far between. And I'm not talking about automatic blind facade systems, those are just a pattern. I see them more as a fancy wallpaper, nothing more than that. I'm talking about architecture that changes its general shape, its general form, and naturally the space which that form envelopes. And it changes it through transformation, through actual, geometry being changed. Typically, those kind of structures, they're kind of closer to machine than they are to a building. And think like large river dams or oil rigs, right? But I do have one that's an actual architectural project with a proper deeper concept and all that jazz. And of course, I would like to show it to you. So here it is. There. Yeah. It's a music club and it's called B018. It was designed by Bernard Khoury in 1995, I believe, but it was built 3 years later, so that would be in 1998. And it was built in Beirut, Lebanon. Usually in these videos I don't talk as much about the cities in which cool buildings are built, but I will make an important exception this time around. Between 1975 and 1990, Beirut was a war zone with multiple front lines, kind of slicing the city up like a piece of cake. Since this destruction kind of extended for 15 years, there were some districts in that city that were basically unlivable anymore, while others became a temporary shelter for the refugees from previously mentioned districts. One of these areas was called the Quarantine or Quarantine. I think it's Quarantine. I think it's somewhat French. And that is where B018 stands. Okay, so picture this. It's 1995. The war has ended like 5 years ago. And you get a site that's really messed up. The vibe of the site is really, really bad. The task is to make a nightclub where people could come in, relax, dance, yada yada, right? You could make a clean, nice little building, preferably white, that tries to hide the past as much as possible. Or you can be Bernard Khoury. He said, screw this self-imposed amnesia of the city, I'll make a bunker. Because during the war, bunkers were the only oasis of safety in the whole damn city, right? So people will recognize that, people will appreciate that. The project was designed to be below ground with the facade pressed kind of against the surface, like the earth, as to avoid being like, look at me, I'm a target type of a mass thing. When it's not used, you can really tell that it's just a plate. It definitely does not seem like it's a building. But then comes the night, and it opens up. People gather, dance below the stars, while the roof of the club is ready to close to protect its visitors at a moment's notice. I find this to be much more honest than trying to forcefully forget the past by sprinkling the wounds of the city with Gucci, Prada, Mercedes, Apple stores, with, artificial parks that are plastered in between those that barely get used. Anyway, let's get to the coolest part of all, the transformation. The retractable roof of B018 is operated using a hydraulic system. The roof is made out of these 10 steel panels that are each around 20 meters in length and weigh approximately like 10 tons. When the roof is opened, the hydraulic system lifts the panels and slides them, so there's lifting, there's sliding, along the tracks until they are stacked on one end of this kind of a circular courtyard. The hydraulic system used to operate is powered by a series of pumps, hydraulic pumps, clearly, that are located in a separate room that is below the club itself. So there is a basement for the basement, I guess. It's all custom made, all of it. And look at those beams, those I-beams at the meeting. The roof panels slide on those. And don't get me started on the custom-made furniture that should resemble coffins in a church. We should not make this longer than it needs to be, so I'm going to skip over that whole part. This is a wonderful building that everyone should know about. And that's about that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Later! Oh, and as always, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and click that bell thing. That would really help out the channel quite a bit. Yep, I just kind of wanted to mention that. Okay, now we're done. Now we're done. Bye. Bye.